Sit back. Get comfortable. We about to talk, okay?
We about to chat it up
a little bit.
Our mission is to heal, inspire, motivate, and to celebrate life living unapologetically free.
As a bird.
As a bird. Tweet, tweet.
Girl, are we recording?
Yes, we are.
Oh!
No, but seriously, before we get started, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, hit that bell so you get all the notifications when we post, and leave us a comment below. Boom, right here, down there, right
Don't
down
forget it. Go ahead. Do everything she said.
All right, let's get started.
Well, okay, today we are talking about motherhood. Yes, ma'am. Sis has a child, sis does not, so we're gonna get into it a little bit.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I want to know, why do people who have kids tell people who don't have kids not to have them?
Girl. No, but seriously, I do say that to people sometimes, but I don't mean to like never have kids. I think everybody should experience motherhood or parenthood at some point in their life, because it's a beautiful thing to create life and then give birth and then watch them go from like tiny little humans to like toddlers and then children and teenagers and adults. But I tell people to wait to have kids until they are like at a place in their life where they are comfortable and see themselves being in this space for a long time. So like someone who's kind of established in a career, you know, something that they love doing, something that they want to do for the rest of their life, you know, someone who is financially stable, you know what I'm saying? Like if you are trying in a place in your life where you're trying to elevate, because I mean technically you will never be 100% prepared to be a parent. Right. Like eventually, you know, you're gonna always want to elevate, but I feel like there is a point where you can be like, okay, you know, I'm stable, I can only go up from here, you know what I'm saying? But like if you're not in a relationship, I don't even want to say married, because people can get divorced, so I'm not even gonna say that. I'm just gonna say if you're not in a relationship, a committed relationship that you see yourself with this person for the rest of your life, and career wise, then I would say not to have a child, because it is hard trying to become successful and have a child at the same time.
Right.
So that's why I say it, because I'm in a place now where I am trying to walk in my purpose and live my dreams, all while trying to raise a son, and a son with special needs at that. Mm-hmm. So it's just like the therapies we have to do every day and stuff, like I have to make so many sacrifices. For instance, I'm a full-time braid stylist, so like I work from home because Xander has therapy at home in the middle of the day, and I can't be at the shop while right. You know, he has a therapy, so I have to be at home. So that's my reason for working from home. That's a sacrifice I have to make. Another sacrifice is I can only do one head a day, because I mean I can't work from 6 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night. You know, if I didn't have a child, I could do that and be doubling my money, double or tripling my money. But the sacrifices I make, I don't make as much money because I want to be a present mom, you know? Like I don't want to be working all day and neglecting my child.
Right.
So just little sacrifices you have to make. It kind of makes things harder in life to elevate when you have a child, because you have to make so many sacrifices for them. So, yeah.
I would say people may get offended when I say these types of things, but the reason that you just gave is the reason why I'm glad that I don't have kids.
No, seriously.
Just because I don't have my life together. Not saying that people who have kids have their lives together, but I would be a very selfish mother right now. I know for a fact, because I'm still trying to live my life. I'm still trying to get my finances together. I'm still trying to see where I need to be, you know. So it's just a lot to discover about yourself that you want to have in place before you decide to bring another human in this world, you know. So honey, if you can, just hold it out just a little bit. Ain't no rush, baby. It's a marathon, you know. So no, I totally do get it. It's just when you are put into a situation to where the blessing does happen and you're not prepared for it, you ain't got no choice but to get ready, you know?
Yep. That's exactly how Xander was. He was not a planned child, but he was my blessing.
For sure. So how has your transition been into motherhood?
My transition into motherhood was really tough. I'm not gonna lie, because I was the type of person that loved kids. I love kids, still love kids. I always wanted to be a mom, so I thought, you know, that it was gonna be smooth sailing for me.
Yeah.
No. Things like postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, I experienced all of it. And my postpartum depression came from the changes within myself, like my body, my mental, my emotional, like, because I already had a hint of anxiety before I had him. Okay. But after having him, everything became so real. Yeah. Like, having a child is a really big responsibility. So you go home with this baby and you like, dang, this is my baby. Yeah. Like, I can't give it back to nobody. Like, it goes back to me. Like, literally. So it was just like, you worry all the time because it's just like, you want to make sure that you're doing everything right. You want to make sure that they grow up and be somebody special. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure that you don't inflict any childhood traumas onto them. You know, like, you just be so tedious about everything. And it's very, very stressful. And then another part of my postpartum depression was my body changes, like gaining so much weight and it being so hard to get off. You know, it's not something I was used to or whatever. So it's just like, you look in the mirror and you don't see the same person you saw before you got pregnant. Yeah. Not even just physical wise. Like I said, my mental change, my mindset changed. The things, my habits and the things that I enjoyed, I didn't enjoy those things anymore. Like, when you become a mom, you literally birth a new you as well. That's exactly what it is. So it's just like, everything changes. Everything. Mindset, everything. Body, everything. Like, I can't even stress that enough. Like, everything changes. And so you have to learn how to love this new person and enjoy this new person you've become while loving and enjoying this new person you just brought home. So it was a very tough transition, for sure.
Just to piggyback off of what you just said, you said you have to love yourself while you're loving the new person. So do you feel as if you had self-love before you had Zan? Or was that something you possibly struggled with?
I really don't think so. I don't think I struggled with self-love before I had Zan. Like, as far as doing things that was like self-care, yes. I didn't do a lot of self-care work before having Zan. I felt like before having Zan, my confidence was always there.
I can attest to that.
So my confidence was always there. So like, a lot of self-care work I didn't have to do because I already had the confidence. Yeah. Like, now I do a lot of stuff to make me feel good about myself. So like, a skincare routine, working out, eating healthy. Even though these things are supposed to be a part of my daily routine anyway, it was just like, back then I didn't have to work so hard at it. Yeah. So it was just like natural.
Your focus of where your self-love goes is different because now it's your appearance.
Yeah. So you kind of take the focus off of yourself. So now you have to consciously be like, okay, I need to take care of myself. Yeah. Or whatever. Because if not, you will be looking like who did it and what for, because you so focused on your son or your child. So yeah, I feel like before I had him, the self-love was definitely there. Because I mean, if you knew me before I had my baby, I was in the mirror all the time, taking pictures all the time. You couldn't tell me I wasn't fine. You couldn't tell me nothing about me.
You still fine, baby.
I mean,
y'all see my girl.
I am, but you know, I just didn't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's okay. So 3 things that you possibly cannot prepare for that you have run into while having a kid. You can't prepare for it anyway, but still, I know it's like, all right, like I ain't even expect this. So yeah, give me your top 3
things that you cannot prepare for. Well, the most recent thing for me was them going to school. Yeah, you can't prepare for that. Like, especially, girl, I was hyperventilating. Okay, like I was just. That's the most recent thing because Xander just started pre-K and baby, I thought I was gonna lose my mind. Like, especially because Xander has been with us since he was born. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go to daycare and stuff. So like he's been at home with me. And so to put my child's life in somebody else's hands, that was very, very, very hard. That was traumatic for me. So, because I was just like, man, what is he doing? I can't see him. I don't know if he crying. I don't know if he happy. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? If he uncomfortable, is he anxious? Is he freaking out? Because I'm freaking out. So, like, is he freaking out? Like, does he miss me because I miss him? Yeah. Or whatever. That was one of the hardest things. Another thing you can't prepare for is when they get hurt. Like, kids are clumsy. Kids are very clumsy. So they fall all the time. They bump stuff all the time. Like, I'd be like, Zan. Like,
babe, I still got bruises from when I was a little girl.
Yeah,
so I know
they do. They are very clumsy. And me, I don't like that. I don't like to see my baby in pain, like when he's sick and stuff like that. Like, you just can't prepare for stuff like that because you really be like, when your kids get sick, you really be wanting to take the sickness out their body and put it in yours so they don't have to be sick or so they don't have to be hurt. So like, I literally just be so sad when my baby just got a cold or something and he can't breathe. I'd be like, just give it to me. Give it to me. I endure the pain. You know. That's another thing. I really can't think of nothing else right now.
Okay, well, it's fine. That's fine. What are some traditions that you want to establish with Xander that you did not have as a kid? So new traditions.
New traditions. Well, for me, I want to spend at least one day out of the week doing some type of activity with him. So like, whether it be in-house or out-of-house, I really want to focus more on bonding with him, like, because I feel like that's something I lacked as a child, really bonding with my parents. So cooking together or going out to the park or, excuse me, trips to the mall, anything, any type of like science museum or just something where we go out and explore or do something that we haven't done before, at least one day a week. That's a tradition I want to start. Another tradition, Christmas time. Like, I've already been trying to start this tradition within not just me and my son, but my family in general. Like us wearing the PJs and stuff before Christmas, and making cookies and stuff like that. Sometimes we get it together, sometimes we don't. But I know last year me and Zan had our matching PJs on.
We had a ball.
But stuff like that, those are a type of traditions I would like to start. Also, I want to start putting him in a whole lot of different activities.
I was just honestly and truly about to ask you that.
Yeah, because we just signed him up for T-ball and I'm so excited. They just sent us the roster and the practice days and stuff, and I'm so ready. And but I want to sign him up for different sports, music lessons, take him on career field trips, you know what I'm saying? But just to show him that there's a lot of options of things that he could do.
The question that I was going to ask you to even get you to say what you just said was, how do parents do things to get their kids to find out what their skill is or what their passion for life is? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you bring that out of your child? So I'm glad that you said you're about to let him experience different things, so some gonna pick up on him. Like, I know the other week you said he was playing the piano. I was like, my boy gonna be a musician.
He loved playing his piano. He had a piano in his room. And he be in there with them little keys.
They ain't gonna be in my wedding.
And his hands really be doing like this, even though he not playing like real music, but he literally got it down pat or whatever. And I just think that's so cool because I always wanted to play the piano when I was little. So I was like, I'm gonna see if he like it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't force anything on him. If he don't like it, we just move on to the next thing or whatever. But I at least try to get him to try something when he can.
So do you see characteristics of yourself in Xander?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Our attitudes for sure. Like like Xander can get irritated really fast. He also likes his alone time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't play about that alone time.
And I know, you know, I don't play about that either. Like, I need my alone time. He be telling me to get out his room and stuff. Like the other day, I had fixed him some dinner and I took it in his room to his little table. He's like, okay, mommy, get out. I said,
what's that, dinner for one, please?
He said, okay, get back, go back, go back. I said, okay, like, dang, you don't want me to sit down and eat dinner with you? But yeah, so like, yeah, those kind of negative traits or whatever. But
his not negative. His little isolation, he just already know. He plays well with people and he can be by himself, so it's just a good balance on, you know.
Yeah, but he also, another trait is he's super goofy. Xander love to laugh.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
I love to laugh. I love to laugh. So that's two things. We be dancing. He like to dance too, and I be like, go Xander, go. So he be doing this little bounce like this or whatever. And baby, I love to dance.
I was gonna say y'all gonna be dancers.
So those are some traits that I see in him that he get from me.
The older that he gets, are you kind of seeing how his personality is going to be? Like, I know I just asked you about his characteristics, but you know he's still gonna be his own individual person. Can you already just like foresee like how he gonna be as a teenager, I guess you want to say?
You know, see, that's a hard question for me, simply because not to say that he doesn't have personality, but with him having autism, you really kind of never know what you're gonna get. So right now, I will kind of label Xander as high functioning autism, even though that's not really a thing or whatever.
It is today.
But you know, I do label him as like high functioning autistic because he's verbal. You know, it's not super clear, but he is verbal. He understands everything you say to him. You know, he can follow commands and demands and stuff like that. So the future does look bright for us,
because it is.
Yeah, most definitely. But I don't really know. I can't really predict or put my finger on how Xander's gonna be as a teenager or anything like that. He's a very spontaneous child, so I don't know.
I'm not as informed on autism as you are, but I will ask. If it's dumb, it's dumb, but I'm asking.
Oh no, there's no dumb question.
Can you grow out of autism?
Technically no. You can't grow out of autism, but you can be misdiagnosed. So sometimes people grow up and their diagnosis is reversed. It's not because they grew out of autism, it's because they were misdiagnosed as a child.
Do you think that that is possible?
For
Xander?
my son, no.
Yeah.
I think he's very much so autistic.
Okay. So what is some advice that you can give to women who are already mothers, women who are expecting, and women who want to be mothers?
The number one thing for any mother, whether it's to be soon to be, expecting, want to be mothers, whatever, none of us are perfect. We all have our flaws. So I don't think that you should be worried about being judged, because I promise you there is never going to be judgment from another mother, because she understands. So judgment will come from outside people, but another mother probably more than likely shouldn't be judging you. So you know, when you make a mistake, apologize to your kids and move on, because like I said, nobody's perfect. That's the number one advice that I have for anybody, because sometimes I catch myself beating myself up about things, like if I raise my voice in Xan sometimes, or get a little frustrated or whatever, and then I'll be like, I'm so sorry, Xan, and I'm just apologizing and stuff like that. But like I said, nobody's perfect, so don't beat yourself up if you make a mistake, you know. That's number one advice. Another advice that I would give is patience is key. You have to learn to develop some patience. If you don't have a lick of patience, please don't have kids.
I feel like it's life.
Like,
but still,
please, yeah, that's life too. But if you don't have a lick of patience, do not have kids, because you're definitely
you beat on your child, I'm calling the police.
Period.
After I beat your ass.
I tell people all the time, you get your child in front of me, like beating on this kid in front of me with a belt or with anything, like slapping them in the face, do that in front of me, and I promise you, you're going to jail. I promise you, you're going to jail.
I don't play that.
Cause I don't play that. So you better do that shit while I'm not around, cause I don't play about kids, baby. Do not be putting your hands on kids. But yep, patience is key, and nobody is perfect.
Well, the advice that I was going to give, even though I do not have kids, I still know it to be true, just because I come from a single parent home. If you need help, ask for it. Kids cannot be raised on their own. Honestly and truly, it takes a village to raise a child. So rather it's your family, or rather it's the family that you built that consists of your friends, ask for help. Let your people know what's going on. If you need it, do so. You ain't in it alone. Yeah, you may have birthed a child by yourself, but you have people who are willing to help you with any and everything. So ask for help.
And a lot of people don't know if you don't ask.
Yeah,
because I know that's something I struggled with in the beginning. I've always felt like nobody was obligated to help me or whatever, but one thing I had to realize was, especially a lot of my friends don't have kids, so they don't know what I need help with, you know. Like they didn't know that, like, oh, I need you to come over here and watch him so I can take a shower, even though Xander is of age now to where I can get in the shower and not have to worry about anything. But like when he was a baby, you know, as a baby, and when you have an infant, honey, especially a spoiled infant, because my baby was spoiled and I didn't care. I spoiled him, I didn't care. But it's hard to take a shower, it's hard to cook, it's hard to do anything for yourself. And when they go to sleep, that's your moment of peace. You don't even want to go to sleep. So
first off, let's pause. Love is not spoiled. She ain't spoiled him, baby. She loved the mess out of him. That's all she did. It wasn't no spoiled. Anyway,
people call it spoiled. That's why I say
hating. They didn't love their kids.
My baby slept on my chest every night. Like,
he slept in your belly for 9 months. What's the difference?
Did. He slept on my chest every night till he got too big, too heavy, or whatever. But yep, I was just so afraid of SIDS, because in college I did a proposal for a public health program on SIDS, and girl, just
when the baby's down they sleep.
Yeah,
in the crib. Let me piggyback off of you saying you struggle with asking for help when you first had Xan. Do you think that contributed to your postpartum depression because you did not ask for help from really anybody other than your mate?
Most definitely, because it was hard just doing all of that 24/7. Like, you
weren't
literally,
meant to.
I hate this saying of getting lost in motherhood, but you literally like become so consumed that that's all that is left of you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think about yourself, you don't think about anything else but taking care of your child, especially at the newborn stage, at the first 8 weeks or whatever. Like, that's your life, you know, like, because all babies do at that point is eat, sleep, and,
you know,
and cry.
Hello.
So like, that was my life, and I didn't know how to ask for help.
So when did it click in? Boom, I need a little balance. I'm a mother, but I still got me. So
I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Probably when Xander was 2, in which that was 2020 when he turned 2.
We got to sit our ass down in the house and look at ourselves and figure it out.
Yep, that was the moment where it's like a light bulb went off in my head, and I was like, you know what? No.
Yeah.
Like, I cannot keep
you're losing
doing
yourself.
This. Like, I'm gonna lose my mind. And that's when I was like, okay, you guys to get up and get it together, because if not, you're not gonna win this battle. So you have to get up.
You back in that fight. I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like it be feeling like people don't understand depression, which that was my first time experiencing depression, and I don't think I've experienced it since. I think that the postpartum depression has since gone, but the postpartum anxiety probably is still here. But it feels like a dark cloud over you, and you really don't even know it until you come out of it. You come out of it and you be like you literally can breathe. Like everything just felt so heavy. Like it felt so heavy, and it's just like people be like, so what is it, like what's so heavy about it, da, 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 da. And when you see mothers out here committing suicide and taking their kids with them and stuff like that, I just want to make it clear that I was never suicidal. I've never in my life thought about killing myself, because I have my own opinions on suicide, but that's another story for another day. But you know what I'm saying, I could never leave my son on this earth without me. You know what I'm saying, like that could never cross my mind. But when you see these parents out here, a lot of them, it comes from, like I said, being sucked into this motherhood portal, you know what I'm saying, where they don't have anything left but that. And it's hard, like babies crying all the time and stuff like that. It's really hard. Like
they
people
depend on you.
Yeah, and you have somebody depending on you, especially like with breastfeeding and stuff like that, girl. Like every day, like every 2-3 hours, he hungry. I gotta put him on the boob. I gotta have these things, and I'm being milked like a cow. Like it was.
My girl, it sounded like my girl didn't like that breastfeeding.
Girl, I did not like breastfeeding at all, because it was so tiring. Like literally, you pumping like 24 hours. Like even in the middle of the night, you gotta wake up and pump.
They hurt.
Yeah, you feel like bricks on your chest, like ooh. And then I had got mastitis in my breast, which was when you get an infection in your milk duct, because your milk duct is clogged. Yeah. And I had to get a shot at my butt or whatever. But yeah, it give you flu-like symptoms. So I was feverish. It can make you throw up or whatever, and it give you those flu-like symptoms. So you feel like you got the flu. So I went to because I was like, Mom, like I think I had went home when Xander was like, I don't know if it was 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, somewhere out from there. And stayed at home in Jackson for a week. You know, so everybody can see the baby and I could be with my mom and them and stuff like that. And I was like, Mom, you know, I need you to get Zan because I don't feel good. Like, and she, you know, so she took him and she was like, what's wrong, you know? And I feel like she got a little worried because, you know, so much stuff can go wrong after you have a baby. But I was just like, I don't know. And I was shivering, but I was sweating. And I was like, I feel like I got a fever. I was burning up. And she was like, we need to go to the doctor. We need to go to urgent care right now or whatever. So we got up and went to the doctor. And she was like, yeah, because I remember touching my breast and it was like a sharp pain. And I was like I couldn't touch my breast, and I was trying to like pump and move the milk out my breast, and I was like, Ma, I can't do this or whatever. And I didn't even know mastitis was a thing. So when I got to the doctor, she was like, yeah, you got mastitis in your breast or whatever. And she was like, well, I'm going to give you a shot in your butt. I was like, bro,
did you instantly release it?
No, it instantly got rid of my symptoms though. But she was like, you're going to have to work it out or whatever. So like I'm sitting here in pain, like trying to squeeze the milk out my boobs. Like it was so bad. It was so
does
bad.
It come from like not pumping on time or something, or how do you develop it? Yeah,
so it comes from like if you're overproducing and you're not pumping to keep up with that, that could be an issue. Or like you said, not pumping on time. Because you know, sometimes it's people who don't want to breastfeed or whatever, or they might try for a couple weeks and then they want their milk to dry up. So you can get a clogged duct from, you know, trying to dry up your milk too. But I wasn't trying to dry up my milk. I guess I was overproducing and wasn't getting it out fast enough. Or whatever. But breastfeeding is a very hard thing to learn, for real. All right, so you asked me a bunch of questions. Let me ask you some questions.
Huh? I'm ready for that. Go ahead.
So do you want kids? Let's start there.
I do. So I've always known that I wanted kids, but it didn't really click like that I wanted kids for real until 2019 when mama asked me about grandkids. I said, girl, you taking me too fast. Now, what a man did. I don't got none of that. So yes, I started at 1, but now I want 3. Like, I literally want 3 children. I'm an only child, so that's probably why I was saying 1 at the time, but nah, I want me some boys. I got to give me a gang of boys is what I want for sure.
No, it's funny because when I was younger, I used to want like 2 or 3 kids, but now
girl said 1 and done.
Okay,
that's what Shonda said about it.
No, but seriously though, my mindset right now is 1 and done. But you know, if I ever, you know, meet my person, like my husband or whatever, I would be open to more kids. I would be. I'm not like super opposed to having more kids, but there's some what's the word I'm looking for? Some rules and regulations to that. Like, yeah,
you having a kid?
For me to have more kids, yeah.
Well, I will say this. I feel as if, I know you supposed to be asking me questions. I feel like you saying you don't want to have kids because your birthing experience was honestly traumatizing to you. That's why I feel like you're saying that. Yeah. I don't and never have planned to have my kids at the hospital. That's never been an issue. That's never been an idea for me, because when I found out when mama had me natural, oh, my girl did it. I got to go on and bring it on in for the team. This is what I always have told myself when I was a kid. So now for me to be older and the way that my life has developed, it's like it was supposed to be that way. I don't do that European medicine stuff. It's a no for me.
Yeah, so yeah, my birthing experience was very traumatic. I keep tapping it because my face something itching on my face or whatever. No, it was very traumatic. There's a lot of reasons. First of all, it's painful. Second of all, bringing kids into this world is life or death. Literally, you literally are so close to death when you bring kids into this world.
I mean, you are dying. Your old self is dying. So I mean, you either gonna make it or you're not.
Yes, your old self and physically dying. Like, it's super painful. Contractions hurt. I don't care what anybody say, they hurt. And yeah, so I went in with the mindset of having Xander natural, most definitely. Like, I was in labor for like 31 hours, and that's extremely too long. You know, I was induced too, which was something that I wasn't really wanting to happen. But they induced me for decreased fetal movement. They were saying that they'd rather have been safe than sorry, which at the time I was upset about it, but looking back at it, I would rather them have been safe than sorry too. You know, I didn't want to lose my son, so if getting him out is gonna save his life, then get him out of here. But they were trying to induce me to push him out or whatever. So my C-section that I had was not planned. It was an emergency C-section. But yeah, it was very, very traumatic. Yeah, it was traumatic. That's one reason why I don't want to, why I'm not against, like I said, I'm not against having more kids, but that's why my mindset right now is 1 and done. I still think I got a little PTSD from that. For sure. And
I've had surgery before, so I understand, and it was stomach surgery, so I get it. Like, that's the aftermath is what hurts the most. Like,
and see, honestly, for me, the aftermath wasn't that bad. I think it was the emotional distress, like, for it. So I'm gonna just tell the story. So I was in labor for 31 hours. I went 16 hours without any pain meds, without any medicine or whatever, because I was trying to push him out naturally. I didn't want any pain meds because I wanted to be up and moving after I had him. And but I couldn't get up since they induced me for decreased fetal movement. I had to be put on a monitor so they could monitor his heart rate, and so that means I couldn't do too much moving. Like, for me, I wanted to like have him now. Like, I didn't mind having him in a hospital, but I wanted to have him the way I wanted to have him, whether that be on all fours, standing up, or whatever. I didn't want to be laying down in that hospital bed, but I had to because they had me on a monitor, and you can't do too much movement, or the monitor moves and they can't monitor his heart rate. So I'm just laying in this bed in so much freaking pain. And then when I decided to tap out and get an epidural or whatever, it didn't really take well. So Xander, when they was checking me, they realized Xander was sunny side up, which means that does not mean that he was feet down. He was head down, but he was facing up. And when kids, like, this is his face, this is the back of his head, and he's supposed to be facing face down so he can like swim out. Yeah. So he was sunny side up. So what they did was they kept trying to flip me back and forth. And you got to remember, they induced me a week early. I was not at 40 weeks yet, so he probably was sunny side up because he wasn't ready to come out.
Why did they do that?
But like I said,
hold on, doc.
Like I said, they were concerned about his movements and heart rate before when I went to the doctor to get checked. So because I went to the doctor because I was having pains at work and I couldn't focus at work, so I called my nurse. Well, first I called my mama. You know, you always call your mom to see what to do, and she was like, well, just call the nurse. So I called my nurse, and she was like, just go to labor and delivery, let them check you. And when they checked me, you know, they was concerned about his heart rate and his movement, because it had been a couple hours since I had felt him move, but to me that was kind of normal because I had just ate breakfast.
Probably
you know,
sleep.
He probably was asleep.
Yeah.
But they gave me stuff like candy and apple juice and stuff to see if it'll jump him up, and it really didn't. So they was like, yeah, you're full term, let's just go ahead and be safe. But yeah, so they induced me, which I feel like that was something they should have checked. You know what I'm saying? They should have checked to see his position in my stomach before they did that, but they did not do that or whatever. But anyway, they gave me the epidural. They found out he was sunny side up, so they had me lay in the hospital bed, and they kept flipping me on my sides like every 20 minutes or so, to try to get him to spin around. And every time I would go to my right side, my epidural medicine would rush to my right side, and I felt all the pain on my left. And the same when I went to my left side. So I was still in pain still. I was like, I might as well take the stuff out my back because I could still feel everything. I remember at one point I had woke Ken up. He was sitting on a little thing, and I was like, they gotta come flip me over. They gotta come flip me over. Like, I was in so much pain. Like, I was panicking. I was like, oh my God, it hurt so bad, or whatever. And I'm pushing the nurse button like I'm pushing the little epidural button, trying to get more medicine. Like, somebody, please help me, help me, please. But this girl, it was
it's
crazy.
Funny now, but
it's funny now, but it was not funny then. And yeah, the scariest part about it though was my health started to decrease. So I had got an infection. I had 103 fever. Like, I was burning up, I was sweating, I was shaking like a stripper in the bed or whatever. And you know, my nurse came in, she was like, everything is fine, you know, trying to keep me calm or whatever. She was like, we can still have this baby, da 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 da. I kid you not even 2 minutes after she walked out the door, here come like 20 doctors and nurses into my room. To my son, we finna take you to an emergency C-section. And at this point, I'm like almost, I can't feel my legs, but I'm sitting here turned in the bed, holding on to the rail, crying. I'm like, mama, my vagina. My mama was in the room. At this point, I kicked everybody out except for Ken, my mama, and his mama. And I was like, my vagina is pulsating, like it's hurting, like it's hurting. She was like, do you gotta push? And I'm like, I don't know, like it hurt, like just holding on to this rail or whatever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I feel like my uterus is about to fall out my vagina. And then all these people running into my room, and the doctor was like, we're gonna go ahead and get you back to emergency C-section. You know, you're not progressing, you still haven't reached, you know, 10 centimeters, and you know, y'all health is decreasing by the minute. We gotta get you back there. And I'm just boo-hooing, I'm just like just crying. And my mama, you know, they trying to calm me down. And then the doctor had the nerve to ask me, what scares me about a C-section? Girl, if I could have punched her in her face at that moment, I would have. I said,
I can die.
Like,
on the table. Trick, what you mean?
I already feel like I'm dying. I feel like I'm dying. My mouth is dry. I'm tired. I'm sleepy. I'm shaking like a stripper, but I'm sweating. I'm hot as hell. Like, I feel like I'm dying. I'm dying. You know what I'm saying?
Sympathy, just work.
I feel like I'm dying. Like, literally, I feel like I'm about to lose my life. And you go sit here and ask me what's scared? You finna cut me open. I'm finna lose a hell of blood. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean? I said, y'all should have just left my baby alone. My mama said, Juck here.
What pisses me off about those types of things is the fact that they didn't know that he wasn't facing the correct way. The thing about going into surgery, you don't know what you're about to walk into. So it could have been, you know what I'm saying, like 10 times worse when you get in there and you really see that it's another issue. So I don't like that right there.
I don't like that.
No, when I found, even though it wasn't no baby, when I found that I had to have surgery, oh baby, I cried. That's scary to think about. I don't see how
scary.
This ain't even on the topic, but I don't see how I'm supposed to be going into surgery voluntarily. It's a no for me.
I might joke about it, but baby, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm not. If I got to be put to sleep, no. And I was awake during my C-section because I was scared to go to sleep. You know, first of all, sometimes they do put people to sleep, but I didn't have to be put to sleep because I already had an epidural in my back or whatever, so they put the anesthesia there. But I couldn't feel anything from like boobs down or whatever. But when I was laying on the operating table, I kept telling the nurse, like, it was a nurse sitting above me. She had a stool and she was sitting above me and she was rubbing my hair and trying to keep me calm because I was like on the table like this,
cold,
shaking. And they had a heated blanket over me and it was blowing like some heated air trying to keep me from shaking so much. But I'm like, I have a fever, like I'm going to shake. Like I was literally shaking like a stripper. And I kept telling her, like, I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I was like, my mouth is so dry. Like I literally was not producing any type of spit. Like my mouth was so dry. And I literally felt like I was gonna die. Like in that moment, I was just praying to myself and I just kept saying, Lord, please. Like I wasn't saying it out loud because Ken was next to me and I didn't want to freak him out or whatever. He was already nervous, you know, watching me go through all of that and then worried about the baby. And so I was just like praying to myself, like, Lord, please just keep me awake. Like I don't want to lose my life right now. Like, and sometimes some people might think that was being dramatic, but like literally when you in that moment, you literally feel like you're dying.
That's why you were crying, because that's how you felt. No, I understand.
And she told me I could go. She was like, you can close your eyes, you can go to sleep.
To wake up dead? No, thank you.
Okay. I said, who? Girl, I'm not finna wake up dead.
Yeah,
like I'm not.
For real,
I'm not
like,
finna wake up dead.
I'm gonna close my eyes.
I'm not closing my eyes.
Everybody gonna get too relaxed for me. No.
And the biggest thing for me was when, like, I was just sitting there like, Lord, please, just please. And then next thing you know, the doctor held Xander up over the thing. He's like, we got a baby. And Xander was just like,
they done took me out.
Like he was not happy. He was not happy. Like he was just looking around like mad. Like his lips were looking. And they put him over there and he started crying and they, you know, cleaned him off and stuff like that. Then they gave him to Ken. And he was hesitant, you know, cause then he was like, the doctors had asked him, like, you know, they put him over the baby, they gave him to Ken, you know, he brought him over to me to let me see him and stuff. And then he looked at me like, because the doctor was like, are you gonna stay with her or are you gonna go with the baby? And Ken and I had discussed that he was gonna go with the baby. But in that moment he was hesitant because I was like sitting here dying on this table.
Y'all didn't plan on that.
Yeah, so we didn't plan on that. So he looked at me like, and I was like, go, you know, like go be with him.
I'm getting chills.
Yeah, and so he left to go with Zan, and then I started dry heaving on the table, y'all. I see it. It's crazy. The fuck. I started dry heaving on the table, like throwing up air, because I hadn't ate in 31 hours, nothing but ice. So it was water and air that I was throwing up, and I was like, bro, this cannot be happening. But the saddest part of all of that though was the fact that they roll you, like when they was rolling me back to the operating room, they rolled me past my family. So like my nieces and my stepdad and everybody was just sitting out there. My sister, they was just like looking at me with puppy dog eyes, like they were so worried. And I was just sitting there like, what the heck, in pain too, because I hadn't went back to the operating room for anesthesia or whatever. But then they roll you back out past your family and everybody was so happy to see me, and I'm waving, you know, a little in distress, but you know, waving at them and stuff. But yeah, it was a very, very hard couple of days. Yeah. But he was born the day before Mother's Day, so he was born at like 8 something that night. So actually no, he was born at, damn, I forgot what time he was born.
Girl, don't tell nobody. I'm gonna try to give my boy a chart. Don't worry about it. He was born.
He was born later on in the night or whatever. So woo, he was born later on in the night. It'll come to me, but right now I can't. You really don't know. I don't. Actually, because he was, I think it was 9/19. That's what time it was. It was 9/19.
Okay, but you gonna be down at 9/19.
It was 9/19 because he was like 19 inches long or whatever. That's why I be getting mixed up. Yeah. But, and he was 8 pounds, 1 ounce.
A big boy.
I remember.
Yeah.
But, yeah, but so the next day was Sunday and it was Mother's Day. So it was all worth it.
They give you a steak.
A steak?
At the hospital.
Cause that food was so nasty.
Supposed to be ready for that afterbirth little meal. They be saying it's so good.
No.
That food was disgusting. I ain't never had
baby, I said, bring me some Hattie or something. Yeah. I don't want that.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't eating that, baby. That food was disgusting. That was nasty. Cafeteria food.
Cafeteria food used to be good.
At our school, yeah. But
not in the hospital.
No.
I understand.
Not at the hospital. It was disgusting. But yeah, that was a very trying time for me, you know. And then, you know, you had to sit there, had a C-section. Girl, this part right here, when you had to get up out the bed.
I already know, Sean. I already know about that right
now
there.
Right
make you get up out that bed and go pee before you can leave that hospital.
Make you get up.
I already know about that.
Yep. And see, like me, I feel like I had to learn how to walk again.
You got to learn how to release your stomach.
And those muscles and stuff they done cut. But yeah, that was hard. That was the only hard part after going through the C-section was, and I had been in labor for 31 hours, so I kept begging them to let me wash my body. And it was saying like, I can't get out the bed. And I'm just like, bruh, I got to go take a shower. Like, I don't care what y'all talking about. I needed to wash my ass.
Oh, Bertha, you still got it on you.
I done been sweating. My hair was all over
like
my
who
head.
knows what. Just please,
please.
Yeah.
Just thinking. Just thinking. I ain't gonna lie to you. You just feel like you was sweaty and stuff. So I was just like begging them, like, can I please take a shower? Can I please take a shower? And I guess they got tired of me asking. So, I mean, because I couldn't get out the bed. Like, my first time getting out the bed, I had to have 2 nurses helping me or whatever. And they grabbed me onto my arm and I'm like, trying to walk to the bathroom or whatever, and trying to feel like dang, I could barely move my legs. Yeah. And then I'm sitting on the toilet, they taking my clothes off. I just feel so helpless. And I hated that. Yeah. I really hated that because I'm so independent. Like, I don't like nobody helping me do stuff.
So did they let you shower? They took you a little whole bath?
No, they let me shower.
Because I thought you was finna say you was in the bed. They came and gave you a wash.
You tried to play me. You tried to play me.
That's what I thought you was about to say. I was waiting for you to tell me they gave you a little hoe bath. That's what I thought.
No. Yeah. Baby, I had to wash this.
I ain't sorry.
Yeah, I had to wash. The scrub-a-dub-dub. But yeah, but then they had to help me put my clothes and stuff on because I couldn't reach down and put all of that. But yeah, this childbirth is just a lot. So that's one of the main reasons why, like, I'm hesitant to have more kids, because I know that VBACs are possible, which is vaginal births after C-section or whatever, but I don't think that's something I would want to risk. Just being 100% honest. And I know that I always wanted, because my mama had all her kids natural, my sister had all her kids natural, and I wanted to do the same thing, but mine just didn't turn out that way, you know. And if I was to have more kids, it would have been really nice to do it at home and, you know, be more with a doula. And
I mean, just wait, you know, just wait.
But it's trying to do that is very, very, very high risk. So I don't know if I would want to risk my life like that. I don't think that I would risk my life like that. So knowing that if I had more kids, I'll probably be having more C-sections is like,
I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Not at all.
So that will be all for this episode on motherhood. We had a good little time.
We did.
Yeah, so make sure y'all subscribe to our channel, 2 and 3 Podcast.
Yes.
Hit that notification bell so you get all the notifications when we post. Give us a thumb up and leave us a comment. Let us know what y'all think, how y'all feel about the topic today. You know, give us some topic suggestions. You know, interact with us. We want to interact with y'all, so please interact with us. Please, please. We begging you.
A little bit. Not a lot.
2 and 3, baby. We out.